What's up, y'all? We're so obsessed with making it in our 20s, and most people aren't even building success, they're building burnout. Let me say it straight. Success at 30 means more than burnout at 22. The problem here at hand is hustle culture in your 20s. Everyone's in a rush, like if you don't have a six-figure business, perfect body, full-time freedom by 25, you're somehow behind. What I've learned at 23 was burning out early does not make you successful, it just makes you tired. You don't need to peak in your 20s, you just need to build your foundation. We're constantly fed this message: grind now, rest later. No sleep, no breaks, just chase. And look, I'm all for hard work, and I work my ass off. But what I've learned is this: if the way you're chasing success is draining your mental health, killing your peace, and making you hate your own life, you're not building success, you are building burnout. And there's no trophy for being the most exhausted at 24. And I say that as someone who is 23, who's lived a lot, and who has had to unlearn the pressure to make it early. So now, I'm choosing to move differently, and I'm not chasing fast success, I'm building slow mastery. I'm focused on becoming someone I respect, not just someone who gets respect. I journal, I reflect, I let myself rest without guilt. I prioritize presence over performance. That doesn't mean I don't hustle. I still work and I still train. But it's not about proving anymore. It's about growing. And that shift, it's everything. Because if I'm 30 with peace, clarity, energy, and a life that's aligned with my values, I don't care if it took me longer. That's the kind of success that I want. And I think a lot of people want that too, but they're scared to admit it. Because slowing down looks like weakness in a world that only celebrates speed. A concept I've thought on a lot recently is if I were to get full freedom in my 20s, by 25, what else would there be for me to enjoy by the time I'm 30 if I've achieved everything? You always hear it's more about the journey, not the destination. Granted, I hope to have financial freedom by the time I'm 30, but not everything figured out. My personal opinion is that journey and that growth ends when I'm on my deathbed. The growth that I've gained so far from going through the things I've been through, I don't ever want to stop feeling that growth. It sucks in the moment, but I can always look back and appreciate it every single time. What I probably wouldn't appreciate is looking back and see that I wasted my 20s being miserable and burning out constantly. That can also lead to a lot of health issues and a whole lot of issues that we can get into in another topic. What's the point of having that freedom if you can't enjoy it because you cause yourself a whole lot of issues in the process? Like I spoke about in the last video, we got to stay in line with our morals, values, principles, and everything in this process. Focusing so much on the freedom aspect and grinding constantly, it can take us out of our purpose. So, the perspective shift. Success at 30 hits way harder when you built it from alignment and not ego. And when you took the time to figure out who you are, you made the mistakes and learned without performing for likes. You don't need the fast money, fast followers, fast validation. You need real peace, real clarity, and real purpose. I've lived a lot already, and I've pushed myself hard. I've seen what burnout feels like. I've also learned to slow down and trust that my time will come if I keep building the right way, taking the right action, and learning from my mistakes. It was never about doing it early. It's about actually doing it right. I've already been through seasons where I pushed too hard, where I thought if I just worked more, suffered more, stayed rigid, I would feel better. I was cutting, training, grinding, isolating, and yeah, I looked on point from the outside, but I was actually starting to feel numb. And that's when I realized discipline is powerful, but not if it disconnects you from yourself. So now I'm focused on building the right way, aligned, purposeful, and balanced. I'm not chasing the burnout anymore. I'm trying to build longevity, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And doing it right is actually going to take time. As long as you're taking some type of action every day, whether it's big or small, some weeks are better than others, those days stack up over time, and it keeps moving you closer, brick by brick. And always remember, make yourself a priority as well. You matter the most in this whole process. You don't need to peak early, you need to build deeply. The truth is, most of what's real takes time. Real confidence, real peace, real purpose. That stuff comes from slowing down, messing up, reflecting, and aligning with what's actually right for you. So, chances are, here's the truth. You're not behind, you're not late, and you're not failing just because someone else looks ahead. And the pressure to rush is really just noise. If you're learning, if you're healing, if you're building with intention, then you're right on time. So don't let Instagram or other social media, hustle bros, whatever it might be, shame you into thinking speed equals success. Because peace, that's a real flex. Fulfillment, that's a real flex. Waking up and actually liking your life, that's the real win. So if you're in your early 20s and you're grinding but you're also feeling heavy, you are not alone. This channel is a space for people like us and people who want to grow, but not at the cost of their soul. If that's you, stick around, subscribe, share this with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, success at 30 with peace, clarity, and health means way more than burnout at 22. You got time, just keep building.